we're in the midst of kind of the positioning of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The Bruins aren't going to make it. I mean, they need the hand of God to come down, I think.
It's
and
so
play net.
weird where they're like, this is one of the few seasons in the last 20 years, maybe even more than that, that you are a few points from being out of the playoff. Like, you could end up in the playoffs, but you also are only a few points out of like last place. So you could draft top 5 if it goes like even slightly more downhill, or you can make the like. It's just a weird dynamic, and that's why it was hard this year to decide if they're buyers or sellers. Which obviously they went hard sell. In Don Sweeney's mind, it's like, well, what do I do? I think for weeks he was just like, he didn't want to give up. I like, when you're a competitor, you want to go all in every year, but that's just not what you can do as a GM.
They couldn't do that where they were in the cap and everything else.
No, and they couldn't do it with when their position in the standing wasn't improving. They couldn't do it with the injuries that they had. And then McAvoy getting hurt in 4 Nations was like at the exact time where they were kind of like, all right, we don't have our top 2 defensemen. I think fans have probably switched their gear and switched their mindset to, all right, I'm okay if they lose out. And we see a high draft pick come back and we see something to build around, because you hear fans all the time, oh, there's nothing in the system. Like, there's nobody like, they don't have a good system. That's why they don't have any good centers. There's no one coming up. They didn't develop anyone because they've been drafting at the end of the first round because they've been good. Right. So when you finally have the chance and you're right there, like, they would draft 9th today.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome. I heard that,
you could like foreseeably get like at 6 or something, and you can get a nice center, and yes, the season's already over. Right. So, like, I understand rooting for your team always, but I also understand, like, if you're a little nonchalant and you're like, oh, I'll be happy with that too.
The Bruins aren't in like a horrible spot either going into next year, right? I mean, if you think about it, here's the question I ask, like, even my Celtic buddies in my text group. Like, you got the big 3, you got Swayman, McAvoy, and Pasta, right? Are those 3 guys that you could build a winning championship team around?
So I will say Pasternak, yes. I would say that's an easy yes.
Yes.
I think the other 2 are a little bit more difficult, though. If you had asked me last year, I would have been like, yeah, all 3 of them, right? But then Swayman has a down year. Mm-hmm. And, like, you're like, okay, this is the goalie of the future. This is who they committed all this money to.
Right.
But he's never been a starter before. So, like, in the regular season.
Right.
So you got to get there.